as the saying goes, ideas are easy, but implementation is hard. And for all of us in business, we know that the implementation is actually the part that is often the most time consuming, the most stressful, the most energy zapping, the most expensive, and we may not implement as well as we often want. But here are the 3 ways to make sure that you're a lot more successful implementation and having more success as a result. So let's jump straight in and let's be completely honest about this. We all are in a situation where we get busy, right? You know, we have things to do. We have stuff, we have ideas, we have tasks, we've got projects, we've got clients to see. We need to be on time for that meeting. We need to, all of the avenues that happen in and around our lives come at us all the time. And we quite often can get behind. Maybe we're behind on our emails, or it's paperwork or letters that are due, etc. And if we're being completely honest with ourselves right now, we all have to admit that we ultimately fail. Let's use that word. We ultimately fail at different times in and around the fact that we aren't always implementing as well as we need to. And most of the time, it's not as fast as we need to. You see, we need to actually be able to move faster. We need to be able to implement more. And there's quite often 2 major areas of reasons why people don't implement near as well as what they could and probably should. And that is, first of all, they don't actually know what to do. So they've got a great idea. They know, or they believe they know what they want and what it's going to look like or the outcome, but they ultimately don't really know how to achieve that result. Or they feel it could be this and a bit of that, but they're not really sure. And so we second guess. And so that manifests into a scenario where we sort of second guess and we do that whole scenario of, I'll do it later. Or I'll take care of this quick thing here in front of me right now. And I don't have enough time to do all of that now, so I won't start it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's a behavior that we all have. So we need to understand that that's one of the biggest limiting factors as to why we don't implement as well as what we probably should. And the second thing actually is in regards to the fact that we believe that we want things to be perfect. So we have a new program or something that's taken a lot of time and a lot of effort, maybe a lot of money to put together, to design, to create time-wise, right? And we get ourselves in a situation where we feel that it's not quite right. So we tinker. We tinker with this, we change that, we do a little bit more here and there, and as a net result, we get ourselves into a situation where we ultimately should have just released it. And the saying goes is if it's 80% done, pull the trigger, get it out the door, make it happen, because you're never going to do something perfect before it's released anyway. And there's nothing worse than procrastinating for X amount of days, weeks, months to get something done and release something, only to find out a week into a 8-week program, it's got to be completely redone because you missed a step or something gets shown that we need to redesign things or change around the structure. And so as a net result, that is also the second biggest reason why we don't implement fast enough. And ultimately, implementation is what drives our clarity. The ability for us to implement and move forward in a set direction is what provides clarity. So if you do have a challenge in and around long-term clarity of direction, or ultimately you don't really know, who really knows what color the paint on the wall is going to be in 10 years' time? This isn't about, finding dreams that are so big 10 years out that are scary and you have to be clear on your goals and your dreams before you can do things. No, you don't, because no one really knows what it's going to look like for ourselves in 10 years' time. So we have to actually also understand that implementation drives action, and it's action that then obviously results in that clarity. And so once we understand that, we start to understand that everything about what we do and say in regards to implementation is ultimately on us. And if we want to be able to improve, then there needs to be some avenues of unlocking the secrets of how to do that. And so there's three parts to improving your implementation right now that we're going to go through that ultimately means you're going to get more implementation. Yes, you're going to have different challenges along the way, but the fact of the matter is that you're going to have them anyway. You're not going to be perfect. So if it's 80% done, get it out the door. And we know that we're going to have to accept some of the chops and changes along the way, and that's okay. But at least we're moving faster, we're getting things happening, we're getting more action, driving more clarity, and as a net result, we have better outcomes, more success, and everyone's happy. So the first way to always guarantee you've got better implementation is quite simply to have accountability in place. Now, many people are going to listen to that and go, oh, I'm accountable to that. Yeah, I'm always accountable. We're not really, let's be completely honest. We always let ourselves down. We let ourselves get away with things. We don't finish up every day and get everything on our to-do list done or our to-achieve list done. We don't walk away 100% clear with everything moving forward. We don't have the perfect diary set up for the next day to be efficient and effective. We just don't, right? So we have to understand that we need better accountability in place. And whether we like it or not, as human beings, we really need accountability from an external source because unfortunately, we all are going to let ourselves down first and foremost. You know, like as health practitioners, we want benefit and value and help and assistance to other people. So we always put them first. We'll go, oh, I'll just do that tomorrow. And we rush off because we need to pick our kids up from school. Or I'm tired, I'll do this later. Like there's always the excuse where we always ultimately let ourselves down. So having external accountability is always the first step to improve your implementation. It's like if you're expected to be at the gym with a training partner at 5 o'clock, you're a hell of a lot less likely to say no in the morning when it's the middle of winter and it's freezing outside because someone's there waiting for you. If you've already paid the personal trainer and you're turning up to do the workout and it's already been prepaid and doesn't matter what you say or do, you're not getting the money back and it's $1,000 for the session, well, guess what? You're a hell of a lot more likely to turn up to that session, get out of bed on the cold morning and have that in place. So make sure you've always got external accountability in place because that's always going to be a great way of doing it. It's why our groups run so successfully with the tribe because we have accountability, each like small ones every day. We have a week of accountability that's in place. It only takes people a couple of minutes to do, but it means that everyone's moving forward and we have our game plans that are reviewed monthly and we have our quarterly intensives. So we have it built out so that it's literally every day for the small little bits of sand. We've got the pebbles on a weekly basis. We've got the bigger rocks on a monthly basis. And we've got the big boulders on a quarterly basis. That is amazing accountability with those external factors built in, which means people move faster, achieve more, have greater results, have more impact, and everyone's happy. Okay, so that's the first one. That ultimately leads us to the second one. The second part of this is about having these plans and structures and outcomes written down. We know that 98% of the world's wealth is controlled by 2%. And the common factor with every single person in that 2% is that they've got their goals and their dreams and their plans and their structures and everything written down. And so these two work together, right? The accountability externally, but also having it written down. We have a sheet that we've called the 7. And that's the 2 or 3 minutes of work that gets done on a Monday morning. That's the accountability factor that people in the group are actually accountable for. We have like our quarterly game plans and it's all systemized and structured. It's just over my right shoulder here on my second whiteboard over here. And it's a big A2 sheet. It's all mapped out. It's got all of the bits and pieces there for everyone to see. So 1, I'm accountable externally, but 2, I'm also in a situation where it's a visual thing written down. So I can't get away from it. And the third part that will always improve people's implementation is having some type of reward structure in place. Now, there's the whole carrot and stick thing. Some people are motivated by the carrot of, when they do things and achieve this is the reward. They go out to dinner, they buy the bottle of wine, they go and buy a new pair of shoes, they go on a holiday, whatever it happens to be. It doesn't matter whether it's tangible, whether it's something about time-wise or something with your family, friends, it might be a charitable pursuit. Makes no difference. But having that carrot in place is very important to everyone. It gives us something to drive and strive towards. There's also the stick. If I don't do this, here's what's going to happen, right? If I don't turn up to the $1,000 personal training session at 5 o'clock in the morning on a winter's morning, then I don't get my money back. That's the stick hitting us on the ass, but we're not getting our money, $1,000 back, right? So maybe it's a financial implication, or maybe it's that whole thing. If I don't clean my room as a kid, I'm not going to get my pocket money, right? That's the stick mentality. So what's the reward? What's the carrot or the stick that you're going to place in front of you? Now, when you put those three together, it creates a beautiful little paradigm. Now, all of a sudden, it's written down, it's clear, it's visual, you're accountable for it. And the great part is you're accountable with someone else or multiple people that can help you, that can actually work together on this and hold you accountable to make sure that's happened, because you're less likely to let down other people rather than yourself. And the third part is it means that you've actually got some type of reward to strive for, that, hey, I did a great job and here's my reward. Or ultimately I get smacked on the bum and it's going to be a pain that I'm wanting to actually avoid. So team, that's it. It's as simple as that. Go and put those three things in place. Your implementation will drive through the roof. It'll be absolutely fantastic for you moving forward. You'll have more success, better outcomes, and everyone's happy from there. I'll talk to you again very soon. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.